Beautiful. All right, everyone. Welcome today. I'm so excited to have this beautiful queen on. Paula is truly one of the most dynamic communicators and human beings you're ever going to get to meet. She is full of love to serve, and I actually love to go around the world talking about her philosophy in life is all about hope, and that stands for helping one person every day. I borrow that from you all the time because that's what you do. You live to serve and you love to serve. And I'm so excited that you're going to be bringing so much information today to our audience to learn more about being free and being free financially. So without any further ado, I'm going to pass the baton over to you, beautiful girl, and let you serve as many people today as you can.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I think that's, it's such an important thing to look at how we can help each other out and create a network of people that are like-minded. And so welcome to our next episode on just creating a different light, elevating our energy, our life, our vision to the next level. And my name is Paula Corday, as Christy said, and I'm known as the Motivational Money Maven. So part of my commitment to the community, these chats are sponsored by the Elevate Together community. And it's a group of individuals that has collectively come together to create positive impact in our community and in the world. And in doing so, we're leveraging the knowledge, the relationships, and bringing together a series of tools and information to help people in our community shift the perspective and create new habits in different areas of our life. So part of mine is contributing to the financial well-being, creating wealth, wealth management, and I'm a financial strategist that looks at different aspects of how we can open up these conversations. So today can be participatory. You guys can definitely chime in and give me some of your topics. We're going to be talking about debt management. How do we save money? How do we create money? How do we make more? We're going to have a series of people that we're inviting into our chats that are experts to chime in and give us some of their golden nuggets as to how do we create a different system and how do we provide information into the community so that we can collectively shift. Part of what we're seeing, and the information that I bring you guys is my opinion. It is what I've experienced in my professional and personal life. And so I invite you to challenge, to research, to collectively bring your knowledge to the things that work. So one of the concepts that I want to bring to mind today is changing your double A's. One of my favorite mentors, Cortland Warren, talks about changing your double A's because our batteries run out. So those double A's are going to be attitude and action. How do we create new habits that will be in alignment and integrity with the attitude and action to create the results that we want? So as moms, as women, as people in the community, as dads, as parents, we have activities that we do, whether it's work, raising our children, going day-to-day life. Sometimes that attitude and the action can wear off a little bit. Would you guys agree? Can I get an amen to that? So we do have to consider that sometimes our energy may contribute to how our attitude and our action steps take place on a regular basis. So if you're not getting the results that you were hoping to get, I would invite you to consider changing those double A's so that you can meet your goals. So I was having a conversation with a girlfriend yesterday, and we were talking about what's your end game? When it comes to finances, what is your end game? Many of us spend so much more time planning vacation. We spend time, researching and looking at our dream home, our dream vacation. We look at flights, we look at hotels, we look at what we're going to be eating and all the excursions that we're going to do. And we forget to look at some of the important steps along the way that lead us to retirement. So as a financial strategist, one of the things that I look at is what are the impact and milestone moments that you create to create a better life at retirement, okay? And most of us just don't have these open conversations. It's become a taboo topic. At least I know in my community it was. We don't talk about how much do you make, how much is in your household, and the biggest thing is how much do you owe? Sure, you have a nice house, you have nice shoes, you have a nice purse. However, do you have a nice savings account? And the reason that that comes to play is because it's an important piece to the puzzle as to how you're going to be taking care of yourself and your family. So part of this conversation led us down the path of what are some of the must-have tools, must-have habits that we develop as individuals to protect ourselves and our family. If your loved one was in a situation of life and death, or even of quality life because you had to pay for a surgery, would you forego that surgery because you cannot afford it? If you were in a situation where your quality of life would shift fundamentally because you have not had the habit to save the money that you need in order to live that quality of life, would that be enough of a fire to be lit under your feet to make a change? When are you as an individual ready to say, enough? I'm done suffering. I'm done crying. I'm done looking at the piles and stacks of mail that comes in that is not fan mail. I love fan mail. I love sending out letters and telling people how much I love them and just checking in on people. That's one of my love languages, is sending out letters, because I like getting things in the mail that are not representative of a bill. Yes? So part of this is you looking at your stacks of mail that come in and saying, okay, now I'm getting fan mail. I'm getting things that I want to open up and I look forward to. How many of us are guilty of putting the bills aside and saying, I'll take a look at those later? Those habits of putting things off for later create this impact. There's a compounding effect that occurs with that when we put things off to the side, especially when it has to do with finances, when it has to do with taking care of our financial obligations, and what occurs in our head and in our physical body to put things aside. I promise you that if you open them when they come in, it's going to create and inspire a difference to take care of things now. And part of what I want to inspire and instill in us is creating those habits of taking care of things today. Just do it. Just stinking do it right now. It may be that we need to come up with different strategies to take care of those bills. It may be that we need to take a look at all of the things that are coming into our life and saying, I would like to prioritize this differently so I don't have that angst or that feeling of, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay for this? Right? So part of what I believe that I can contribute to our community are new systems, and asking for the support of the community as far as what do you guys want to see more of? What would be impactful in your life to create a different system, whether you are single, you're married, or you're in a relationship that's complicated. Any of those require you to have a standalone knowledge of the moving parts of your finances. So I liken the rules of playing with money to playing a board game. How many of you guys play board games and read the rules after you started playing the game? Yeah, I'm guilty, right? Because sometimes we follow other people's leads and say, oh, well, they move it here and they move it here and we'll win somehow. What would your life look like if you knew the rules of the game before you even started playing? If you knew that there were systems, possibly shortcuts or paths that would create an easier flow of playing that game. I believe that that's part of what's happening with money, right? Is that we jump into the game not knowing. I'll share one of my experiences. I believe when I first started college was when I was introduced to credit cards. And I will be completely transparent and honest that one of my very first credit cards and one of my opportunities was truly in the name of discover, because I discovered so many things about credit, about the power of purchasing and the power of debt. And I got that credit card, you know why? Because I was gullible and they gave me a t-shirt. They were giving out free t-shirts to anybody that got credit cards that day. And I was like, well, I want a free t-shirt. Everybody else is getting a free t-shirt. That's pretty cool. I had zero knowledge or idea of how a credit card worked, except for that you could injure your wrist, right? Has anybody experienced a wrist injury from so much spending? You go to the store and you're like, swipe, swipe, swipe. And later comes that pain of, oh, how did I charge $1,000 in such a short amount? So part of the discovery in that, or part of the opportunity that came, was going back and reading the fine print. In college, I had no business paying 20% interest on a credit card where I didn't have credit. I didn't have bad credit. However, I didn't have credit at all. So it was impacting the no credit that I had at that time. So through these chats, what we want to discover is, how do credit cards work? We're going to be bringing in a debt expert next week to talk to us about the impact of debt in our world. We're going to be bringing in a banking expert. And then I'm also going to be bringing some guests that are going to talk to us about financial management. You guys can hear from me, and trust me, I can talk. However, I do want to share the gifts and the network that I have and leverage the relationships that I have so that we can answer some of the questions and dive into some of those things that worry you the most. But more importantly, I want to bring a safe space for us to have a platform to have these conversations and create an opportunity for us to openly talk about this. When we talk about, I'll go back to my whole topic about retirement and making a difference. Many of us plan for retirement. I can't wait to retire. And we get to that stage and plan, okay, 65, 67, 69, whatever age you elected to retire. That's great. You've planned to retire. You didn't plan through retirement. And that's one of the keys that we're looking at. Can you retire because of age? Absolutely. But when you look at your finances, will that sustain you for the remainder of your life, whether you live 10 years or 40 years after? So that's where the question comes in. What is your end game? Is your end game to retire and take 5 years or 10 years off and take a break? Or are you truly committed to a quality of life that will allow you to live on purpose, with purpose, and financially set for the rest of your life? So real quick, any questions so far? I've talked quite a bit. Nicole, do you have any questions? Megan, Hillary? Are there any specific topics that you guys would like to explore or dive into while we're doing these classes? And you're welcome to take yourself off mute. Go ahead.
I have a question, Paula.
Sure.
I relate to you so bad because for me, being when I came to this country years ago and I didn't have a social security number, I have to learn the way how to get my first credit card and the credit score and all the stuff. And I was something like, it cost me a lot to build my credit till now it's good. But when you use your credit cards, I know that it's several factors that contributes to the score. But what do you would think is the most important that when, you know, instead of like paying the debt or the history of the loans that you have, the longer the history you have, what is the most important factor that contributes to your score go up when you have credit cards?
So we're going to have an expert that's going to come and talk to us about credit scores, but I can tell you just from my perspective, what I can share is my knowledge of credit cards and the use of them or misuse of them has to do with your balanced responsibility, right? The longer you have a line of credit, the better, but it's how you use it that they're going to rate your credit score. Will it open doors for you? Absolutely. Your credit score is an indicator of your responsibility, right? So
Yeah.
you come to me and tell me I've got a credit score of 450 versus I've got a credit score of 750. It tells me a lot about you as a person. Are
Mm.
you responsible? Are you on time? Do you make your payments regularly? Do you have the habit of borrowing responsibly and paying back? Those credit scores often, not always, will tell you about people's habits. What it doesn't take into account is that life happens. And what we've experienced in the last couple of years with the pandemic is outside of our reach. Many of us have been stretched beyond our financial means because of the pandemic, whether we were out of work, whatever the case may be. So I think with the exception of the last couple of years, that credit score is representative of how individuals can take care of things that are put in their responsibility, right? So we'll talk about next week, we're going to be talking about debt and how that snowballs and creates a massive effect. I believe that from some of the context from Dave Ramsey and some of his programs, he says approximately 75% of Americans are in debt and foresee being in debt for the rest of their life. That's scary to me. That is a scary concept. And yet, if we can help each other figure out the strategies to get out of debt, that would be a dream come true, because so many people are praying for that hope to have a little bit of relief in that financial space. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes, and more. You just give me the formula to get out of the rat cage.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thanks, Paula.
All right. You're welcome. Nicole, what were you going to say, hon?
Mostly I was just going to ask, like, my son wants to start a Roth IRA. We don't know who to go to. Like, what kind of people do you actually trust or go to when you do want to make any type of investment?
So here's what I'll say. I mean, obviously you can trust me, and I'll say that, seek counsel, not opinions. Everybody's going to have an opinion, right? So part of what you want to do is research the companies that you are wanting to establish a relationship with. One of the important things when you're opening any financial products, anything towards saving, is finding out your investment style. There are 3 key investment styles that you want to look into, and we can definitely dive into that and look at the 3 investment styles. And based on your style and your goal, you want to look at what products are available. Some of them have these beautiful, shiny bonuses that come with the account that are fantastic, that are meant to attract clients. However, when you look at the overall gains and how it produces, you may not be too happy when you read the fine print. Other ones are going to come with a solid projection of what they can offer you that may not be as exciting without the bonus. However, what you're looking for is the benefit on the other end of it that are going to be solid. So that's what we can teach you is, how do I discern between a shiny object that looks like gold to something that's going to be solid, right? And what we want to do is educate you. So part of my job is bringing the education to every single person and saying, these are your options. I'm going to give you the top 3. You get to pick which works for you, because you'll know in your spirit, hey, listen, this works for me and my family, right? So if you're not into going to Vegas and blowing $10,000 and just figuring, oh, well, there it went, then that's definitely not your style, right? Versus a conservative option that's going to just maintain your money, or we'll go right down the middle. I want a little bit of both, best of both worlds, right? So we want to look at that style that's going to bring the answers to what you're wanting to create. There's a purpose behind each vehicle, and you knowing what it can do is going to be important. Okay, does that answer a little bit of your question?
Yeah, it does. Do you know, is it like when I was growing up, it was always you start the Roth IRA, and that if you do that and put in starting at, 18, 19, 20, that you would be doing really well putting in the 2,000 a year. Is that still the case? Like, is that still where we send young people to start?
So let's look at, I'd be glad to give you and your son a one-on-one consult so that we can look at some of the options that are available. Again, it's dependent on your end goal. What is it that you're wanting to create? Do you want more money? Do you want more interest? Or are you looking for a setup that by the time that you retire, you truly have that peace of mind where you have multiple areas covered in your life? So whether you follow Susie Orman, David Ramsey, Grant Cardone, whatever your style is, we're going to come back right to neutral and say black and white. These are your options. What are your goals? And then we'll tailor it around the goals that are important to you. Okay. And
Okay.
that way we can make recommendations, because I don't believe any plan should be a cookie cutter plan. It should be
Right.
designed specifically for your needs and what you want to create in the future.
Mhm.
And I always tell parents, you're responsible for taking care of yourself. And if you still have kiddos under your roof, you're also responsible for planning if anything were to happen to you. How are they going to be taken care of? By whom? And what are you leaving as a legacy?
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that as adults, we have the opportunity to create a legacy, live a legacy, and leave a legacy, right? Many of us work so hard to leave a legacy for our family that we won't get to experience with them because we're
Yeah.
working so hard that we lose track of that quality time. And by the time we pass, sure, we left it for them, but I'd rather my kids have a memory of who I am now and how I got to experience that with them so they can talk about it for generations to come. I want to be the best mom, grandmother, ancestor that my whole lineage has ever known. That's how I operate, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to live to inspire people into action and creating different results in our community, in our life. Okay, I think I
Thank you.
may have over-explained to you a little bit,
No,
but
it's good. Thank you. I appreciate
I hope
it.
that answered your question. Okay, Hillary, did you have a comment? Hillary disappeared for a second. We'll give her a minute to come back. Anything else, Nicole? No. Okay, perfect. So part of the series and the chats that we're going to be having, they're going to be moving forward every Wednesday. We're going to be talking about the game of money. And I want to be clear that to me, money is a tool. It opens doors and it creates an opportunity for us to step into a different level of performance. It creates a different tool for us to be able to participate and do things to change the quality of life for us. Okay. The pursuit of it to me as well is that flow. It's playful. It's a game. It's finding out, how do we create more? How do we interact? And one of my mentors, Renee Cermak, talks about this in her financial chats that she does. Money is similar to relationship. If you were in a relationship with money, what would it say about you? We're in a love relationship, we're in a love-hate relationship, or it's complicated, right? How does money talk about you? Oh, she holds on way too tight to me. She doesn't even let me get out of the house. Oh, she won't let me get out of my room because that's just where I stay. Or we have a loving, flowing relationship. We trust each other. I come back to this relationship because it's a safe harbor. I get to go and do my thing and come back, and we enjoy the exchange of energy in this relationship. Can you see how that's very different, right? So what we want to look at is, how do we create that love relationship? I want to have a number 10 loving relationship that inspires others to say, oh, how do I get to that relationship, right? Whether you're talking about making an extra $200-300 a month, to completely getting out of debt, to controlling an environment where you can travel and live in an optimal life that brings balance. Would you agree that with a little bit more money, you can buy organic food, which is better for your body? You can buy the products and have access to health programs and health care that would improve the quality of life, right? So money doesn't buy everything. Part of the series and what we're going to be talking about too is taking care of your body. Your physical body is part of your wealth system. Your health is part of your wealth system. Finances are part of your wealth system. Many times I believe we make the mistake of equating money to wealth. And it can be a part of your wealth system. However, money is not the only thing that creates wealth. Your liberty, your health, and your financial standings are three of the main components of creating better wealth. So these chats that we're going to be having are talking about wealth management, wealth development, and growth. And one of those tools is definitely going to be in the area of money to make sure that you guys understand what you can do different, how we can, at least at a minimum, bring the conversation up. As entrepreneurs, what are some of the blind spots that we're looking at? Paying taxes, saving. How many of you guys have been excited to get commissions and you're like, woo, I got a commission check. And the next thing you're thinking, how am I going to spend this? What am I going to pay off? And we forget that somewhere along the line, we had to pay taxes. And then we find out a little too late. We're like, oh my gosh, nobody told me about taxes because we're used to the W-2s and those taken care of for us ahead of time, right? So we're going to talk about some of the common things that us as entrepreneurs need to know, sharing that knowledge about finances. How do you save? How do you pay your taxes? What structures do you put in place? We're also going to be talking a little bit about just reverse engineering. If you owe X amount of taxes, or if you owe X amount of money on a credit card or whatever it is, how do you reverse engineer it to make sure that your business is on point and help you catch up and close that gap? Okay, so I hope that these topics are going to inspire you into action, create an opportunity for you to make a difference in your financial home. I truly believe that you don't know what's going on with other people behind closed doors. When we close our door at the end of the night and we're ready to retire for the night, we don't know what's happening with other people. So be gentle. Many times I find that people don't want to talk about their finances, because there's a level of embarrassment. One, because of the debt. Two, because of the lack of knowledge. Or three, because they just don't know what direction to go in, left, right, straight. So we tend to just kind of sit in that energy. This is where we're bringing in that concept of our double A's. Change your attitude and your action to create different results and get into a better space at a minimum for you, right? So for those of you that have gone on flights before, you hear the flight attendant say, in case of an emergency, always put your mask on first. Why? Because if you're not able to survive and take care of yourself first, you're unable to help somebody else. So this is going to be a self-reliant, self-sufficient, self-help development, whatever you would like to call it. We want to evolve your energy, your spirit, your actions first, so that you can have that impact on people moving forward. I hope this was helpful to you guys. We are going to continue with our guests and have people come in, have all the questions available that you want answered. Anything and everything you've ever wondered about finances. If I don't have the answer, I will help you research it and find it. I'm available to help guide you as far as any retirement plans that you're looking into. You don't have to buy from me. However, seek counsel, not opinions. People are going to give you opinions. And, I like using examples and metaphors and all kinds of stuff. I'll tell you this. You can find the absolute best product. It's like going to your favorite restaurant and say, guys, they have the best steak. It melts in your mouth like a piece of butter and it's just fantastic. And you recommend it to your friends. They're going to say, that's great, but we're vegetarian. right? So it's not going to fit for them. So we want to make sure that these plans fit your needs, fit your structure, and overall your goal. What are you wanting to create? For me, it's peace of mind. So let's help you find that peace of mind, that quality of life that you're looking for, and start changing some of the habits that will lead you down the road to success. Success leaves clues. Let's pick them up and find out what they're about. We'll read the clues, find out what the rules are, and together we can make a difference. If we're making a difference in our community and impacting our community, let's make sure we're leading them down the right path and why we're recommending what we recommend. We've studied it, we've practiced, we've lived it, and we get to be kind to one another. We get to be gentle and have grace with one another, regardless of wherever we are. That's part of my practice, practicing every day, hope, helping one person every day, regardless of how I can do it, whatever it is that I can do for them. I want to make sure that I have that positive impact as I do with you. So if you're one of my people for the day and you need help, reach out. I would be glad to help you guys. And thank you for welcoming me to our community to make sure that we have some help. So let me look at the chat and see if we have anything. All right, I think that's, we're calling it a wrap for today. Any other questions or any other concerns, reach out to me. I'll put, actually, I'm gonna give you my phone number. If anybody needs to text me, my number is 760-917-3602. And I would be delighted to provide any assistance to any of you guys. And feel free to text me your questions there too. So that way we can have a collective and a base of questions that we can answer. Guys, have a blessed day. Thanks again for inviting me to the community and making sure that we help one another out. Have a blessed day. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Paula.
Thank
You're
you, Paula. Well done. Amazing. We love you.
Love you too. We'll talk to you next time. See you next week.
Thanks,
Ciao.
Paula.
Bye,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.